Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. I want to focus in a little bit more in depth on the physiology and the really philosophy of a psychopath, so you can understand how they act, how they manipulate, how they calculate, and how they, in essence, view the world. Because it's very important to learn about these interspecies predator, and that is Dr. Robert Hare, really one of the founders and forefront individuals who has studied and described the psychopath in the Hare checklist, and has really been quite a pioneer and leader in identifying the traits of the psychopath. And, number one is that they are without a conscience, and the physiology makes them highly susceptible to reward-seeking behavior. So the psychopath, when they enter into a situation, it is purely, truly only self-centered. And not just like, if this is what I want for myself. It's what can I get to have power over people, this situation, this event, this organization. So the psychopath has a craving for power. So some people have a craving for power, to be a leader, to be their best self, to help humanity, to do good, to enrich themselves, to educate. So people have a lot of different motivating factors in life. And it's based on your personality, your strengths, your belief about yourself, your confidence, what is important to you, what you have a passion for, really what lives within your heart. So, for example, I have a passion for helping others who have been victims of abuse. Victims of emotional abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse, who have encountered narcissistic, psychopathic, borderline, those individuals who have suffered at the hands of these very difficult others. So that is my passion. That is my soft spot. That is where I want to reach out and help others and help build them up, strengthen them up, and make them basically realize that they are wonderful, magnificent individuals who do have true strengths, but were really enmeshed by others who were seeking to take advantage of them and gave them the wrong messages. So that is my passion. And that is the whole core of my channel here. And so the psychopath and other individuals might have other motivations. So other people might want to become executives. Other people might want to become teachers. Others might want to become artists, etc. You get the picture. So a psychopath, their motivation in life is to have power over others. It is to dominate. It is to take. It is to pre-calculatingly overpower others to get whatever it is that they want. They are extremely parasitic in nature. Parasitic meaning they do not contain within them that which they desire. So they do not have an inner personality and an internal moral North Star. They do not have a conscience. They do not have an identity. They do not have the ability to love. So they do not have the ability to connect with others based on their physiology, their high reward-seeking behavior, and coupled with a lack of emotional connectiveness. They don't perceive situations, events, and traumas in the same way. They don't have that same emotional resonance. The physiology in their mind does not connect the same way to horrific situations. For example, people might witness a rape and be like, "Oh my God, this guy's taking advantage, and of this girl. Stop him!" And the psychopath will just kind of stand there and observe and watch and see how he's doing it, and seeing how he overpowered it, and just being like, "Wow, that was pretty intense." I mean, they look at things very differently. They don't have the same emotional vocabulary, if you will. They do not connect to others in the same way. They don't have the same vocalization. So oftentimes you get the word salad coming from them, very strange statements that are made out of context and that are meant to kind of skew people and get people kind of wondering what they just said. And then that becomes, furthermore exploited. And so they tend to then overpower others with strange things that they say, and they are hyper sexualizing. So they twist meanings, they twist reality. They use a lot of neuro-linguistic programming to overpower others and get them really sort of dissociated from their environment. And by dissociated, I mean no longer kind of connected to things in the same way. So they have a way to overpower others. Once again, here we have the psychopathic desire to overpower others. So to get people off their base, to get people ungrounded, to get people kind of looking at them like, what did you say? What did you do? How did you react to this? These people then become enwrapped with them or fascinated by how odd they are. And not just odd and like, oh, that's a really creative person, an artistic person, but it's kind of like it gets people to stop in their tracks and just like drop everything. They have this way of through their energy, there's an energy that emanates off of a psychopath, which is very disarming and very much gets people to follow them, I guess, and gets people to pay attention to them. So we hear about like cults and things of that nature, where people just do things that they just normally would not do. Just, it's just they get people to dissociate and lose track and lose focus of who they really are, what they really want, what they're really focusing on, what they really want to work for. And instead, they kind of drop everything and then become followers of this individual. And once again, not just like, oh, I'm interested in this information, but they tend to drop everything in their life for this one person. So, dropping their family, dropping what they're focusing on. They feel so kind of numbed out around this individual that they feel so at ease, and they just feel this sort of connection with them when it's not really a connection at all. They are really being exploited. They are being overpowered through the things that they do. The psychopath does and say, the way that they treat them, the way they break them down and make them very open to suggestion, which then they are then implanting other feelings and experiences which the individual hitherto has had a void for. So they feel like here's this answer, this panacea to all the hurts and fears and worries that hitherto had plagued this individual. So they feel to their victim very much like the soulmate. They feel like, oh my God, the answer to my prayers has just arrived. This person makes me feel so good. This person makes me feel like the most beautiful woman. This individual makes me feel like the most handsome man. Oh my God, this woman is just so tantalizing. This gentleman is so sexy. The way that he flexes his body, the way that he makes me feel. I mean, you're just, losing it to them. So, and by losing it, I mean you're losing your sense of who you are, your own internal guiding instincts of right or wrong. They tend to annihilate that right away. So once again, it's a pathology. It is not just, again, like the normal relationship, like, oh my God, this person's amazing. They make me laugh. We have fun together. But, in this, usually there's a foundation and you don't feel like you're losing yourself. You still feel like you have a sense of yourself, your reality, your personality, what you're working for. You still feel accountable to yourself, your responsibilities, your accountabilities. You don't feel like you're being gaslighted, which is really the issue, is because when you're gaslighted, everything else does not seem to matter. Everything else seems to go by the wayside. Everything else just seems to be almost, ethereal or non-existent to you. You just seem to almost be, like you're walking on air when you are overpowered by this individual. And walking on air is it's the internal chemistry of the love bombing, the dopamine, coupled with the lack of serotonin, with which the psychopath is getting you to become involved and fixated with them. And this is the feeling. This is the love bombing phase, which is a trauma bond. And this is how they overpower. This is how they have control over you. So in essence, it's like a game. And when you are in that state, they have won. They have conquered you. They are now in control of you. They now have power over you. It's a very terrifying experience. It's very terrifying because it is a gaslighting. It is a taking over of one's physiology. And it is all a game to them. And as soon as you are addicted, you basically are theirs. You are their prey. You are their predator. You know, it's more than just being a narcissistic supply, like to prop them up. They literally have overpowered you, and your body is going to become a very imbalanced, out of homeostasis, a fight or flight. You're going to find that your appetite and everything else is going to be out of whack. People's sexual drives become heightened and really overpowering, and it then leads to compulsive masturbation, constant fantasies, dreams of these people constantly. And so that is the love bombing of the psychopath. And realize that they do not want a relationship with you. They just want to have power over you. There's no love. There is no connection. There is no relationship. There is no common ground. There is no understanding of each other. That person is completely vapid inside. They are just looking for amusement. They are just looking for someone that they can, in a very calculated manner, control, overpower, and then leave you basically without anything while they then move on to their next target, if they aren't already juggling a number of other people already. So realize that the psychopath looks onto humanity as well as their relationship with others in a much different manner. And it is someone who you do not want to interact with. You do not want to play around with these individuals. You need to get away from them and restore your humanity. It does take time. It does take a lot of internal work and stamina, but your internal resources will return to you. Your homeostasis will return, but it is a life-changing event. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.